AI taking over the world? Maybe not yet. But it's definitely shaking things up in HR, and that's what we're diving into today.
Right. And this isn't just some futuristic sci-fi scenario.
It's already happening.
Exactly.
We dug into this report, the intersection of AI and human resources. And let me tell you, get ready for some serious aha moments.
It really gets you thinking. It's interesting,
Yeah.
we often think about AI as this brand new thing,
Right.
but it's been quietly influencing HR for a lot longer than we realize.
Yeah, it's been sneaking in there.
Remember those early 2000s job boards? The ones that seemed kind of clunky even back then.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, that was our first taste of AI in HR.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's like they planted the seed for this total HR revolution without us even knowing.
And it all started with those clunky job boards. So we've gone from HR decisions based on like gut feelings and intuition to relying on cold, hard data.
It's like the Industrial Revolution, but for HR.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of parallels there when you think about it. Remember those management theories from that time?
Yeah.
Like Taylorism,
Oh, yeah.
scientific management, all about finding the most efficient way to work.
Right. Efficiency was key.
And AI.
Mm.
It's like the ultimate efficiency tool, but applied to how we manage people and work itself.
It's mind-blowing when you think about it like that. And speaking of efficiency, we can't ignore the ChatGPT explosion that's taking over everything.
Right.
AI went from this abstract concept to an everyday tool practically overnight.
And that's a perfect example of how quickly these technologies are changing our lives. And the workplace is no exception, especially when you're talking about HR.
Okay, but ChatGPT is not the only game in town.
Not even close.
We got to talk about all the amazing stuff AI is doing in HR, like right now. This isn't some far-off future thing.
Oh, yeah, it's happening right now. We're seeing so many AI tools specifically designed for HR tasks. It's really incredible.
It's wild. We're talking systems that can scan thousands of resumes in seconds.
I know, right? And they're pinpointing the best possible candidates, but based on like specific skills and keywords.
It's like having a superpowered assistant who can filter through this mountain of applications instantly.
And it's not just about the volume. They can find those candidates, the ones who are perfect, but not even actively looking for something new.
They're hidden gems.
Exactly. Hidden gems. They're using that same kind of technology that like suggests people you may know on social media.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. If AI can find me the perfect pair of shoes online,
right?
Imagine what it can do for finding the perfect candidate.
It makes you wonder. And you know what else? It's not just about the number of applications. It's also about fairness. Making those early stages of hiring more fair.
It's a big one. Because how can AI be less biased? I mean, humans built it, right?
Right. But here's the thing. Humans, even with the best intentions, we have unconscious biases. We just do.
That's true.
But AI, it can focus solely on the data, the skills, the experience, all the qualifications.
It's like this totally objective observer, no first impressions, no gut feelings, just data.
Exactly. Data-driven decisions. Now, flip the script for a second.
Okay, flipping.
Imagine you're the candidate now. Instead of that feeling of like sending your resume into a black hole,
Oh, I know that feeling.
AI can create a more personalized experience.
You mean like when you get those tailored job recommendations? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Like that. But picture this.
Yeah.
You get a personalized interview prep guide based on your resume and your LinkedIn profile. That's AI in action.
Wow.
It's making that whole experience way more engaging, less scary.
I have to admit, some of this sounds a little bit Black Mirror, Like, is AI going to turn the hiring process into this cold, calculated algorithm?
I can see why you'd think that. It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it really highlights why we need to be talking about the ethical side of AI. It's a powerful tool.
For sure.
Like any tool, it can be used for good or,
Or not.
Exactly.
So where do we draw the line with all this? This report actually breaks down the risks of AI into 3 categories.
Yeah, it's not just like all AI is good or all AI is bad. The report talks about acceptable risks, needs work risks, and then like the no way category.
Okay, yeah, let's break that down because I'm curious about these categories. What falls into each one?
All right, so the acceptable risks, those are the ones we can manage if we have the right safeguards in place. Think about data security.
Right.
We're already dealing with data privacy concerns everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's like a constant thing.
Exactly. And AI just adds another layer to that.
Okay.
But with, really strong security and careful data management, it's manageable. Then you've got the needs work category. And this is where things get interesting.
Oh,
So this is about AI potentially making recommendations that aren't intentionally harmful, but could have some unintended consequences.
give me an example. I need to wrap my head around this.
Okay, so let's say you've got a job posting AI tool.
Hmm.
It might unintentionally exclude certain groups of people because of the data it was trained on.
Because of the data, right?
Exactly. So we need to constantly watch those algorithms, make sure they're not repeating the biases that are already in the data itself. It takes constant vigilance.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing.
No, not at all.
And that brings us to no way. That sounds bad.
Yeah, the no way zone. That's for AI that could cause real harm. The risks are just too big, bigger than any possible benefit.
Like what would fall into that category?
Imagine AI making huge decisions about someone's job without any human being involved at all.
So like an algorithm just automatically firing someone based on like data points. No manager, no nothing.
Exactly. That's where we have to draw the line. We can't go there.
No, that's way too far. And so much of this comes down to the data itself, right? I mean, we've all heard the stories about AI systems going totally off the rails because they were trained on data that was already biased. How do we prevent that in HR?
It's tough, really tough. I mean, even if we have the best intentions in the world, getting rid of bias completely is almost impossible.
Yeah, I could see that.
The data that's used to train these AI systems, it's made by humans.
Right, we can't really escape that.
And we all have our own biases, whether we realize it or not.
So how do we keep things in check then, if it's all like coming from us in the first place?
Human oversight, that's absolutely key. We can't just let these AI systems run wild and make huge decisions about people's careers without any checks and balances. And we need transparency.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
If an AI makes a recommendation, we have to know why. What data did it use to make that decision? Can we follow its logic? It's about making sure someone is accountable, even when AI is involved.
So it sounds like it's all about finding that balance, right, between using these amazing AI capabilities and not losing that human touch.
Exactly. AI is great at analyzing a resume super fast and accurately, but it can't really understand the nuances of a candidate's experience,
Right.
their motivations, their potential, at least not yet anyway.
And speaking of not yet, this report made some pretty wild predictions about where AI in HR is going. Like, get this. AI analyzing your tone of voice in an interview to figure out how confident you are. Even like scanning team chats for any signs of burnout or conflict. Is this really the future of work?
I know it sounds crazy, but sentiment analysis, using AI to figure out emotions and attitudes from, text and voice data, it's already happening.
Wow.
And it's only going to get more advanced from here.
So are robots going to be replacing HR professionals altogether then? I mean, is that where we're headed?
I don't think so.
Oh.
It's not about replacing, it's about evolving. Like, picture yourself as an HR manager. You're drowning in these administrative tasks, right?
Yeah, I can imagine.
But what if you had an AI assistant taking care of all that for you?
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right. And that frees you up to focus on the strategic stuff, the human side of things.
Yeah.
Building those relationships, nurturing talent, creating a work environment where people can thrive. That's what it's all about.
AI empowering HR, not pushing it out.
Exactly. Working together, not against each other.
This whole conversation has been, honestly, a real eye-opener. It's clear AI is changing HR in huge ways, and it's so much bigger than just robots taking jobs, which is what we hear all the time.
For sure.
From using data to make decisions, to dealing with bias, even predicting the future of work, we covered a ton today. But the big takeaway here, AI is here to stay in the HR world. And it's up to us to make sure it's used ethically and effectively.
It's on us. And that means always asking the tough questions, challenging assumptions, and never forgetting that human element that's at the heart of all of it.
So if AI is already this good at understanding us, at understanding human behavior, what does that mean for the future of work itself? It's a question worth thinking about. We'll be back next week with another deep dive into another fascinating topic. So until then, keep exploring.